पर लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग वाले पेज पर। और यहाँ पर अभी देखें तो ये देखें जो
Police department! Police department! How's it going? Are you Patricia?
No, I'm not.
This is 50-year-old Carol Rey. She lives with her mother, Patricia.
Are you Patricia? No, I'm not. Is Patricia here? Police department!
She lives with her
Just ask me what my name's Are you Patricia? Is Patricia here? Police department! Just ask me what my name's Are you Patricia? Message yesterday.
This made sense to the cops. Carol's mother, Patricia, didn't want to deal with her greedy grandson and decided to move out and ignore him. Or at least that's what Carol thought. At this point, police are completely unaware of the horrifying secrets and just feet away from them inside the house. To the cops. And over the course of the next few days, this simple missing persons report returned into hands down the most gruesome and disturbing case that they had ever worked on.
And then I get a text message from
Decided to
Carol
move out
Rey, but
and
it's a
ignore him.
real Carol
At
Rey.
least that's what Carol just feet away from them inside the house. Carol's mother, Patricia, just simple missing persons report returned into hands down following the direction of Carol's previous night. Johnny called police again, slowly becoming more concerned that something inside to Patricia. So at 11 a.m. January 22nd, officers would arrive at Carol's house for the second time with the intent to find a conclusive answer to John's worries.
Grandma's Patricia. Mom is Carol. Hi. Are you Carol? Is Patricia here? It's not written down anywhere in here. Grandma's Patricia. Does she live here with you? Yes. Your grandma? Or your mom? Sorry.
Yeah, she's been staying over at her sister's house for a couple of days because we just got diagnosed. My mom. Let's go back here.
Can we just look at it?
Yeah, before I see where it goes over and everything. So baby, what should look at these ones? This one is the last one I'm right now since it's the first one I left here. Let Daddy sleep in. This bedroom since Grandma B's stuff and then ready. So there's stuff done. And all our clothes are in there.
officers have one simple task to wrap this case up. Simply confirm Patricia is okay with their own eyes. To do this, Officer Pelt decides to call the doctor's office where Patricia is apparently being treated. However, the call doesn't go as planned.
This is Officer Pelt with the Roseville Police Department. I'm just calling because I believe you have a patient in your office by the name of Patricia Bennett. And she has some family members that are concerned about her and are trying to just make sure she's there.
Nope, she's not here. Her, actually, they might have got the date.
Accusing your own mother of committing such a terrible act is something officers need to take seriously. However, there's no evidence to suggest that Carol had even harmed Patricia, let alone killed her, so these claims feel drastic, unfounded, and premature. Officer Jerebick seems to have felt these claims were over the top as well, so he would lead John to the station to file a missing persons report. Additionally, he wants to learn about John's history with Carol, and why he thinks she may have killed Patricia. Alongside John would be Carol's ex-husband TJ, who claimed to have important information that could help solve the case.
We're just going to record you and I. All right. So when did you physically last see your grandmother eye to eye?
Probably after Halloween, beginning of November, before I went to North Carolina. I came back from North Carolina Thanksgiving, so didn't see her. Went there on Christmas, didn't see her. I've been calling her and asking her to call me. I need to hear your voice, or have my mom have you call me. I need to hear your voice, or I'm going to do a welfare check. I threatened that a couple weeks ago.
All right.
Yesterday I just cracked and finally called it in.
And now you haven't had any voice contact with her since Thanksgiving?
Somebody's been texting me off her phone or off her Facebook. I know it's not her just because of the words they use. It's not how my grandma talks.
When was the last time you saw Carol?
Last time I saw Carol, period.
Not Carol, Patricia.
Oh, okay. I'm like every time I drop my daughter.
yeah. We're like Patricia.
Patricia.
Contact with Patricia, yes.
Yeah. It was around Halloween time. I did receive one text message the other day stating that she was sorry for holding up Carol. Carol and my daughter were supposed to hang out because it was my birthday this weekend. Getting around 6 o'clock, I started texting her. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? You know, it's my birthday. We were supposed to be celebrating it and blah, blah, blah.
Carol, and Allison are supposed to be celebrating on Sunday, your birthday.
Right, and then I get a text message from Carol's mom, but it doesn't read like Carol's mom, but it says, "Sorry, I'm holding her up, signing over the cars and giving her title to house and insurance stuff so she get that stuff fined Monday." It gets kind of, when Carol types, a lot of times it comes up kind of misspelled. It's because she doesn't wear her glasses and stuff like that.
The only contact that you've had with her was from
a random message, and she said that she was with my aunt. So I did some research. I went there today and spoke with my aunt. She hasn't spoken with my grandma since 2015.
Remember how Carol said that Patricia moved over to live at her sister's house?
Is Patricia here?
No, she's not here right now. She's with her sister.
John visited that house, and Patricia's sister claimed that she hasn't seen Patricia in over 5 years.
And she was messaging me today while we were there with the cops, saying that she was home, and messaging my dad that she was home when we know she wasn't there because the cops were there. My dad screenshotted them all and sent me those messages.
Okay, can you email those to me?
One thing I do know, and I mean, in this type of situation, I would hope it's more true than it is the other, is I've known Carol since I've been 20. I mean, like, bold-faced, like, you can show her, like, here's a picture of you, and I have. Here's a picture of you doing this, and da-da. It's not me. I mean, so she's always been a chronic liar, especially when she's off her meds. Because she does take lots of medicine, longer than I think even we were together. I mean, I'm sure you can get her list of medicines that she was taking, but I guess she lost her therapist, so she has not had medicine for the last couple months. And when that happens, things get kind of wonky with her.
Any other conversations?
I've been calling the house phone, social media, off of like Messenger, calling her that way, texting her, nothing. And then on 12th of January, my mom texted me off her phone saying, "Grandma B is sleeping, getting over pneumonia here." I was like, "Have her call me. I need to hear her voice. She never does this. She always calls me." And there was no response.
These interviews help clarify why John would go as far as saying Carol had killed Patricia. She's been lying to them for months. Nobody's been able to see or speak to Patricia, and she happens to have a decent surplus of cash that the family has been pulling from. And remember, on top of all of that, Carol lied to police about Patricia's whereabouts at the doctor's office. The evidence makes it abundantly clear that Carol's not telling the truth and trying to hide something, and it's likely something horrifying. So police try and visit her house a third and final time, but this time, they aren't leaving without answers.
Hello.
Hi again. Hi. Is she here now?
No, she's up at the Liver Cancer Institute getting her B12 shot.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to be gripey with you, but
Where is she at?
We're just getting conflicting information, that's why.
The doctor's office that you told us she went to, she's not there.
with cardiovascular is where she goes. Dr. Tapazzi is who treats her leukocytic white blood cell cancer. Not the white blood cell cancer.
Okay, because you said she was at Woods Cardiovascular.
Because she has a lot of
What's your daughter's name?
That's Addison.
Addison.
Allison.
Yeah, so just getting conflicting information from.
That's a nice balloon.
Well, it's because
Can I see it? Oh, thank you.
I can't keep all of it. Woods Cardiovascular is where she's been treated.
Yeah?
So
Is where she's been treated for a long time with Dr.
And how did she get there? How did she get there?
Her sister drives her, or I drive her.
You didn't drive her today, so today.
And sometimes her neighbor across the street.
How did she get there today, though?
I believe her sister.
Her sister?
Yes.
The sister that lives in Warren?
Yes.
Okay. But you don't have your sister's number?
I don't talk with my aunt or my uncle.
Well, last night,
Okay.
She stayed over there.
when the officer came here, she did not speak directly to her.
No, she spoke to me. Okay. Because she was at my aunt's. She was here right before last.
Is that your phone?
She was here. Yes, that's the one I just gave you.
Listen, we just want to know where this lady
I
is.
understand, but you guys are upsetting my daughter and you're upsetting me.
She doesn't look upset.
That's
Okay?
fine.
Because you don't hear what she says when she leaves. I just went through a really bad domestic violence divorce situation and CPS up my butt for the past two
We're not,
years.
but that's not what we're here for. We're here to find out if your mom's okay. We got a bunch of people who are concerned about her, and no one seems to know where she
my
is.
son's father, my son, and his brother, which he's got his brother on high alert now, which his brother's wife was just here yesterday morning while my mom was laying on the couch to pick up $200 to do her tabs for the car, for my son's car.
Right.
Not going to hall.
Okay.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, I can show you a picture of my daughter and my mom.
She's
sitting on
sending
the couch.
messages telling everyone she's here.
She's currently here.
No, she's coming back here because she just called.
She just called. Why don't you call her right now? While we're here.
Yeah. And she's on her way, then shortly we'll be able to resolve this.
Can I turn this back on to her?
Yeah.
You can see
That's
that
fine.
I'm actually. Oh.
You want to put on speakerphone? Will she answer you?
I don't know. She went up there to get her B12 shot.
Notice the drastic change in Carol's demeanor when she was directly asked to call Patricia. She's no longer deflecting, but rather soft-spoken and deliberate with her choice of words. Pay attention to Carol's body language as she's asked more of these direct questions.
I know she's supposed to be calling John because John's the one that started this like 3-4 nights ago, threatening to call if she didn't talk to him. Yeah, if she didn't talk to him by noon the next day. I had her call before she went to Sam's Club. It was like
it possible then that
11:45, 11:50.
Is it possible then that she could just speak to John directly?
Yeah.
Well, then why hasn't she?
Like face to face, so that they're at ease.
But she's not answering.
We're sending messages to
Do
each
you want
other.
to call her again?
And people are just concerned.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
She was talking, you were talking, the phone was ringing. What did you say?
Why can't your mother directly speak to John? Not through a message, not through text.
She can't.
FaceTime.
I don't have nothing to do with her and John, though.
Well, that's why we're here.
I'm getting stuck in the middle of it.
Yes,
We
and so are we.
So are we, and we have to figure. We have
trying
to
to get
see her. You want to just try to call her again? What's the doctor's office she's at?
Which cardio? No, the Weber Cancer Center is behind Macomb Hospital.
Coincidentally, Officer Peltz would call this doctor's office, and yet again, Patricia was nowhere to be found. Officer Pelt knew something was off and decided to call in Detective Jarabeks to question Carol officially and confront her about her growing list of lies.
Grandson doesn't live here.
Okay.
If this does go downhill and she starts making any admissions, let's stop, get her to the station. We'll do a search warrant, whatever we have to do for the house. But if she starts,
Do you want to do a consent to search first, so we can gather it at the house first? Does she have consent?
yeah, let's start out with that.
She's already let me go through the house.
Did you go through the garage?
I have not been through the
cars,
garage.
check the cars.
No, I just went through the house. It's going to go south quickly, so she's at her breaking.
Okay.
This is Detective Jarabeks.
Excuse me.
Hi. So we're gonna, if you don't mind, we'll get consent from you to search the house to see if there's anything that would lead us to think of who she may have went with to help you out and figure out where she went.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't tell you otherwise, right? You're under the impression she was supposed to be with her sister.
Yes.
That's what she told you.
Yeah.
Who lives in the house?
I do. My mom and this little girl for her over.
Has she done this in the past?
My mom doesn't tell anybody what she does.
And your son seemed pretty concerned that she was in here.
What's on John?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she tells you that she's with her sister.
That's got me.
That's concerning, correct?
That's got me worried. I'm not worried, but aggravated.
She's not answering her phone calls. The people that she says she's with, she's not.
Mm-hmm. That's got me
concerning.
aggravated. Because
I won't feel right if I leave this house without looking for anything that can point us in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do my job properly and make sure that, and I guarantee when she walks back in this door and she finds out that I searched for her through her stuff to help try to find her, she's probably going to be okay with it because that's what most people would be okay with, correct?
I'll open up her bedroom door so you can see her stuff or whatever. I'll unlock the car for you so you can look at it and whatever, or whatever you want to do. I don't want to sign anything and get in trouble.
Okay.
There's all of her things.
Okay. When your mom left, did she take like a toothbrush, a bag of clothes, like she was spending the night anywhere?
Well, she had a personal thing for clothing things.
Yeah, does she normally sleep over people's house without,
Well, she does. She did this time, and she has in the past. Puzzles,
so
right?
she does have,
She's doing.
obviously, medical issues.
Oh yeah, she's had medical issues for a while. She takes
What I'm saying is that that's also, when we're looking at somebody being missing, it's concerning because anything can happen when she's had COPD, she's had a stroke already. You understand, she's
out there.
You don't seem very concerned. I'm more concerned for your mom than you are. Like,
I am concerned. I've talked to her and seen her in the past 24, 48 hours.
But now
I'm frazzled because she's lied to me about talking to my, and I don't know why she would do that.
So, I mean, we're concerned because your mom left, but she didn't even pack a bag to go, you know.
For an overnight, she normally won't. Even when she came out to my trailer that I was remodeling up on Hall Road.
So for like an overnight, you don't pack like just a toothbrush, a change of clothes, underwear?
Have any teeth?
Obviously, something's going on here. We're fairly certain something's going on. We need to start fresh, and we need to tell you. We need you to tell us exactly what happened.
Your story's not adding up.
Your story doesn't add
Go
up.
through it very quickly.
You're extremely nervous.
Well, yeah, I had the police here last night and today. Yeah.
Carol, obviously, something probably happened to your mother, right? You know something that you're not telling us. That's apparent to us. We're trained investigators. We know when something's not right and something isn't right. You have many people outside of you that are concerned about your mother's whereabouts. Where is she at, Carol?
I don't know, because she honestly said is what she told me when she left here.
The detectives haven't cracked Carol yet, but they're extremely close. If they can get verbal consent to search the property, they may be able to find clues to further solve the case or get Carol to reveal more information.
All right, listen to me.
A few things.
You're lying a lot, okay? I'm now at a point where I don't believe anything you're saying, okay? I've now confirmed another part of your story that's wrong. So you need to come clean now. Let me know where your mother's at. If she's in this house or in your garage, that she passed away from natural causes or whatever it is, and you didn't want to do anything because maybe you needed some extra money for Social Security or whatever it is, we can get through it. But right now, what you're doing is you're hiding somebody who's possibly dead, okay?
Absolutely not.
Carol, she hasn't been in this house in 2 months, 3 months.
She has. She's got dirty clothes in the laundry room. She's got clean clothes hanging right there.
What does that have to do with anything? That's neither here nor there.
I mean,
what's going on? What's going on in your life
her hairbrush is in the bathroom.
Yeah, that's odd because she left for the night. Wouldn't she want to brush her hair in the morning?
Carol was caught lying through her teeth multiple times. However, despite all of that, detectives couldn't get the consent to search her property. This leaves them in a tough situation. It's clear Carol is lying and hiding Patricia's whereabouts, but with no solid evidence, they can't be certain of Carol's involvement in the disappearance. But luckily, the police had a trick in mind, involving Carol's current boyfriend, Ricky. Since Ricky has been living in the house with Carol, he has the authority to give consent to areas of mutual access. In this situation, that allows officers to search the majority of the property despite Carol's objection to the search. As long as Ricky doesn't have any involvement in Patricia's disappearance, he would have no reason to object to a search of the property.
Hey, how you doing, sir?
How about yourself?
Not too bad, are you Ricky?
Yeah.
Okay, gonna step back here. Some of these detectives want to talk with you.
Detectives?
Yeah.
What's going on?
They'll talk with you.
When was the last time you saw Patricia? Like, physically saw her in person?
Physically saw her. It's probably been about a month.
Would you mind coming to the station with us? So we can just sit there and talk?
It's just about...
Well, we want to find Patricia, but we're getting...
She's not at her sister's house?
No. How long
Cheated on me? She's lied on me?
Who's lied on you?
Like Carol.
Carol?
She's cheated on me, yeah. Because she's the one that told me that she was at her sister's house.
Thankfully, it seems as though Ricky has no idea of the crimes. More importantly, he would agree to a search of the property, granting them access to most of the home. If they discover anything serious, they'll need a search warrant to investigate it further, but a cursory look around the property is now... They begin by searching her backyard and cars.
Someone's got to search the inside. Who's with her?
Help.
Huh?
Help.
Who's with her?
Oh, Help's with it.
Just be my.
After coming up empty in the backyard, they check the last remaining spot, Carol's garage.
Boyfriend's here.
Just want to look up here real quick.
You open that?
Should fit in here.
I mean.
Ooh, bloody.
Oh. All right.
What'd you say?
Bloody towels. There's in here. She's in there.
She's in the house.
Oh, she's in there.
Open it up. Let's see.
Well, hold on. I don't know. Hold on. Well, hold on.
I don't know. I'm not just.
What?
Nah. I don't. He's looking. He's looking at. Nothing. I think I opened up that grave bin and it's full of bloody towels and it stinks like a dead body.
Are you kidding me?
Swear to God.
You gotta get the search warrant.
Huh? For what?
If it's in there, Bodecker wants us.
For what?
If there's
We're searching for the
There's a
body.
bloody Yes, pillow. If there's
a
one
bloody
in there.
pillow in here. Sorry?
Yeah, there's a body in there.
Yep.
Where?
You see the legs in the far corner.
Okay.
Goes back.
Sure.
I'll go get the thing up there.
Somebody said he was back here. So he needs to. Everybody needs to. That's a boyfriend. He's just been looking for him.
Oh, okay.
Hi, Lieutenant. I just opened up a big plastic storage bin and smelled really bad. It was full of blood and towels, and you can see a body in there. So that's kind of where we're at.
All right. We hook her, bring her in. What about
Everybody was saying, the brothers, we need to find out what they were telling officers, because they were saying he was like in the back there yesterday. It was coming and going. Somebody might have seen.
There's
Yeah.
still moisture on the top of that. I open it and there's still moisture on the top, so that's not been in there long.
And they were somebody we got to talk to over there. They said, hey, the door was open yesterday and he was coming and going, and then all of a sudden his car was gone.
This dude? Whose boyfriend is it?
This is the girl in
the daughter.
I say we bring him in and we
Yeah.
talk.
Not only had they found Patricia's deceased body in the storage bin, but the body still wasn't dry, meaning the murder couldn't have been more than 2 months ago as John originally suspected. This terrifying scene couldn't have made the truth more clear. Carol Rey had killed her mother and had been covering it up for weeks. However, she may not have been the only one involved in this. Ricky had been staying at the house for months now, and the cops believe he had to have known about the murder if he'd been living beside it the entire time. With this in mind, police place Carol under arrest immediately and detain Ricky too.
Carol, go ahead and stand up for me. You're on with James Vanderbeck, okay? I think you know why we're going, but I suggest you think about what you need to tell us, okay?
You change anything. Any weapons I need? No. I might have my knife on me over there.
Following Carol and Ricky's arrest, both would sit in a jail cell while they waited for detectives to arrive at the station. Multiple hours later, they would bring Carol in for her first interrogation.
Obviously, Carol, we're here to talk to you about what's going on here. The further we let this keep rolling, the further it's going to get without you being able to, shed some light on this, okay?
The goal for this interrogation is not to get Carol to confess, because she obviously did it, but to determine a motive and figure out if Ricky was also involved.
You might say something and it comes out wrong or something like that. I don't want it because it was an accident. I'm doing so I explain the process.
If you explain the truth, then it will come out as the truth.
I don't believe so.
I can't give you advice, but if you want to tell your story, you can tell it how it is. I don't have to ask you any questions. If you want to get it out, you can do that. At the same time, once I tell you your rights, if you don't want to talk, you don't have to talk.
That night, We were sleeping between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. in the morning, and I heard loud banging. My daughter and I were sleeping in my room in the back, and my mom was sleeping on the couch. Anyway, there was a big crash, and it sounded like someone was breaking through the glass window or breaking down the door in the living room. I grabbed my gun. I went running down the hallway and had my finger on the trigger like an idiot. But I went, not running, but walking fast down the hallway. And I hit with my right foot to the stupid stump of that wall, like snapping in my hand like this. And it went off. Doing this over her shoulder, and then I heard gurgling. And I screamed, Mom, and pulled her on the floor. And I go, somebody broken the window or so huge, loud.
When recalling an event, the suspect unable to... But Carol shows none of this. While crying, she manages to form a detailed timeline of how she killed Patricia. This implies that her story of events may be inaccurate, and the murder wasn't a mistake like she claimed. They've heard it, however, detectives would be able to search for evidence that explicitly countered this story, and that didn't be brought out of her cell and into the and watch how
Going off of what you said yesterday, I know you said you're walking down the hallway, rather quickly if you heard a noise. Get the gun in your hand, the Ruger. If you're walking the owls right there, you tripped. The gun, you your finger on the trigger, and the gun went off, correct? Okay. You saw your mom bleeding, and then, I thought you said coming out of her mouth.
Right away, I went on and it freaked me out, and I dropped it, and I screamed out, and it I don't know much better. I told her to call her name. I told her name. She was like, it was just sex, and it was gurgling sound, and it was something trickling out of my mouth.
The cops are clearly trying to come across as understanding and compassionate to Carol, but if their main goal was to make her feel comfortable, they wouldn't have sat her in the corner of the room and positioned themselves between her and the door. They want to eventually make her feel so cornered and pressured that she lets go of the truth. So for now, this nice guy demeanor is a complete act for the detective to build rapport, as he tries to get her to talk as much as possible.
So after that happened, obviously you found your mom in the container in the garage. Now, obviously my concern is kind of understand how she got there, but you gotta explain to me, because to me it seems your back and everything that you could do this by yourself. So can you walk me through? I understand, obviously, panic, everything sets in, you're freaking out, and it's your mother you love, right? And so, baby was waking up. Okay, can you kind of walk me through the minutes after all that happened? Let me ask you this, was Ricky there that night? I don't, you don't have to get into them if you want to. Okay.
Remember, an important part of this interrogation was to figure out if Carol's boyfriend Ricky was also involved to any extent. At the moment, Carol is claiming that he wasn't on the scene at all, as they'd recently had a number of arguments. The cops would have a chance to interview him later on, but for now, there's one question regarding him that they just can't seem to get their heads around.
So, okay, so Allison was sleeping with you. Ricky wasn't there. Gun was off. You heard the baby waking up. What happened next? Did you leave your mom on the couch? Did you move her somewhere else? I can understand that. It's very hard to get under a state. Obviously, we're operating under panic, right? I mean, I can picture myself in a situation, panic, you got your daughter there. Where did you move? Where did you move her from the house to where first? We found her in the garage. Was she moved anywhere before the garage? directly in the garage. Okay, so this is where I'm concerned with Rick, your mom, and I know this is a hard detail to get through, but picking up your mom, there's no way you're picking up. How did you do that by yourself? You're saying Ricky's not there. Did Ricky come over and help? Did you have him help you move?
Are you afraid to tell us? Are you afraid of Ricky?
You don't have to be afraid.
You don't have to be afraid, I promise. You're scared, aren't you?
Carol remained completely silent for almost 30 seconds after she was asked this question. The cops are right to assume that she's scared, but it might not be for the reasons they think. She could be scared of Ricky and the consequences of implicating him in the crime, but she could also be terrified of the situation she's in. She's going to jail for a very long time. There's no escaping that anymore, and that's a scary reality for her. Whatever the reason is, though, the cops are still doing their best to give her a moral excuse or justification for what she did, so she'll talk a little more. She panicked, and anyone would have done the same. The best thing she can do to make things right is to tell them exactly what happened.
I mean, people panic and people make mistakes. Yeah, I mean, you know what happens most often when you flee from an accident, it happens all the time when people panic, right? Let's say someone gets in a car accident and they smash into a car and they take off, and that person ends up dying. They hear them on the news, and then the lives keep going, and they're like, shit, I should have stayed, but I didn't, right? That's the mistake that you made. I should have, but I didn't. I don't want to keep revisiting, but I have to. How did you get the toad out of the house? She'd have passed all that stuff in the garage. Is it possible somebody else could have moved it before?
The cops are really focusing on Carol's inability to physically move Patricia to the garage, as, to them, it was a clear sign that somebody else had to be involved. But at this point, they're not getting anywhere. Unfortunately, this isn't conclusive enough evidence to implicate anyone else, and it's not getting Carol to talk. But that's okay, because the detectives have one piece of evidence that they've been saving for this very moment, that could prove without a doubt that everything Carol said so far has been a total lie.
The other thing I wanted to bring up is they obviously did an autopsy on your mom. And they found some puncture wounds in her neck. 3 puncture wounds. Not an old scar, but actual fresh puncture wounds in her neck. How did those get there? Nothing at all? Stab her with anything after the fact? I'm not saying you were killing her, but like, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying, I don't know, maybe her out from the street if she was suffering or anything like that. Because here's what I don't want to get caught up. Is that once they tell us exactly how deep they were, if it was a cause of death or contributed cause of death, it could be really bad. So we have to get everything out here now to try to do something with those wounds that don't cause those wounds or anything like that. So I want you to think right now, what could have possibly caused those puncture wounds in her?
I don't know if she had testing or anything like that. I didn't hear anything like those wounds were yet.
Preliminary, it looked like knife wounds. Kind of fresh, like fresh, but like a puncture at the end of a knife there or something.
A gun accidentally going off and killing someone. Unlikely, but believable. But 2 fresh, deep knife wounds that Carol hasn't mentioned a single time? It's going to be extremely hard to explain this one away. Not only does this imply the murder was completely intentional, but the fact that Carol hasn't mentioned it means that she knew that was the case and wanted to try to cover that part up.
And again, I don't want to put words in your mouth. Don't want you to implicate anybody that's not implicated.
That'll get you in more trouble.
That'll get you in more trouble. But as we sit and investigate and continue to investigate in the days and weeks, months to come, more things are going to come out. I'm pretty certain of it. Does Rick know eventually what happened?
Not to my knowledge.
Does Rick know your mom was in that?
Not that I know. I didn't tell him.
Did he say anything to you that leads you to believe that he knew? Did you actually not have a mistake? Did you actually mean to kill your mom?
Oh, I do not mean to kill my brother.
Well, I'm not saying that. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, do you understand where, when these things can't be answered, that's kind of odd.
I don't know what happened.
Can I ask you this? What's going on with controls? Did you freak out after you shot her and she was still breathing and you wanted to make sure that at this point, no good for her to be like this?
Absolutely not. I wouldn't know. Absolutely not.
Did maybe you kind of help her to see, like, this sounds terrible, but like, is she alive? Is she out? Okay.
At this point, the interrogation has been going on for over and Carol clearly doesn't intend to deviate from her story despite all the new evidence. The detectives are still no closer to obtaining a confession or any information about Ricky from her, so they figure they've got no choice but to speak to the man himself. So later that day, they bring Ricky in for an interview of his own and attempt to get the truth out of him, whatever it may be.
Do you have any idea what's going on?
No, I don't.
You have no clue?
Somebody at the house said something about Patty is not at her sister's house where Carol was telling me that she was at.
When was the last time you physically seen Patty? You guys call her Patricia?
Yeah, Patty, Patricia, and I'm gonna call her Patty. I physically seen her about, I think it was like a month and a half ago. It was before Thanksgiving.
How often do you stay at the house during time of this?
Every day. I've been there except for, it was like the 8th and 9th, I went home to my mom's house.
So you've been staying there every day?
Yeah.
Already, Ricky is being much more open and giving much better answers to all of the detectives' questions. He also seems exceedingly calm and as though he's just trying to help the officers out. Right now, he definitely isn't coming across as a murder accomplice or blackmailer, but there's still plenty of time for the cops to catch him out.
What about Carol? Does she work? Does she have a job? Does she go anywhere? What does she do with most of her days?
Most of her days, keeping Allison busy, cleaning the house, doing what she can. But she needs some major surgeries.
Any financial issues with you or Carol or Patty or anything?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing?
Carol took care of the bills.
Do you know where she has the money to if she's not working?
She said she had a joint bank account with her mom.
Carol been acting strange or suspicious to you or different?
She's bipolar, so yes. I always said that she was the world's greatest actress because I can't tell when she's being sincere or not. That's in addition to bipolar. They're compulsive liars, and I've been caught in a lot of her webs before. I've been telling her she's been feeling more distant.
Ricky, I mean, I don't really necessarily know you, obviously, but you seem pretty nervous to me. What's going on? Is there something you're nervous about?
I'm not nervous about anything.
Where did you sleep in the house when you were there?
Mostly in the bedroom with Carol.
Carol's bedroom? Where did,
sometimes on the couch.
Where did Allison sleep?
Mostly in her bedroom.
Let me ask you about the garage. You ever go in the garage?
Yeah.
Ever?
Hardly ever.
When's the last time you think you were in the garage or on the Congress?
I think we went to go look for a screwdriver. Jeez, I don't even know. I think it was early December. It's been a couple of weeks.
Did she have you go and look for it, or did you go?
No, she's been with me.
Compared to Carol's interrogation, this one seems extremely laid back and relaxed. It feels as though there's a big chance Ricky genuinely just doesn't know what's going on. However, the cops do pick up on the fact that he's a little nervous. He's finding it hard to look the detectives in the eyes, and he seems a little soft-spoken. So, to clear things up fully, they decide to put the pressure on big time to see if he breaks.
Ricky, we got a problem.